Hello guys, we're gonna go over the charts. We're gonna go over what happened this week and based on the plan. Now we're gonna start off with QQQ. We're gonna start off with QQQ. We're looking at the hour chart. We're looking at the hourly chart. So you guys remember that we had this resistance here, right? This resistance that we were having issues breaking out of. We finally did, made a high, pulled back to back test this resistance. Rallied, pull back. Every time the market breaks up, it will always come back and retest. Every time the market goes up, it will come back for a retest. So in the future, if you see that the market it's ranging like this, and then it breaks to the upside, it will always come back to back test the breakout. When that happens, then what you want to see is for it to hold and continue to move higher, give you a higher high. It's been giving us higher lows. Higher lows are always followed by higher highs. So here we are, a high higher than this breakout, higher low. So what do we get? A higher high. We have highs here. Let's zoom in here. So this is a run. We pulled back, held the zone, came, broke this resistance that we were having issues with, broke resistance, and then we just kind of ranged up here, and then short squeeze. This right here is a short squeeze. This is a short squeeze. Now, what is a short squeeze? Well, here we have a double top. High, double top. So this is a bearish signal, right? So this is pretty much letting the bears know that there is a possibility of coming down because we need to test this resistance that we broke out, and we have not tested it yet like we did here. We haven't tested this yet. So what did it do here? We range, we double top. This should have fell and it didn't. We short squeezed to the upside. We held support. Notice that we held support. We held above yesterday's low. We held above yesterday's low. This morning, we're opening above. So you're looking for a break of this. This is the only way is letting you know that buyers are in control by breaking this high. And that's exactly what we got. So your entry could have been somewhere around here, which is at 317 if you wanted a safe entry, right? And then you get the breakout to the next resistance, which was 320. I think part of the plan was if we held new support, we would see 320. We saw more than 320. We got to 323. Into resistance. We are running into this resistance. Now, this resistance is coming from the day. Let's go to the day. Remember that yellow line we saw? That yellow line is this channel right here. This is the top channel. This is where we are at for the day, okay? Now, look at all these green candles. We're here now. So, if the market decides to push higher and break out of this zone right here, then our next resistance is 327, 330, which is this area right here that we will test. Let's come back down to the hour. Okay, come back down to the hour. This is where we're sitting at right now. So tomorrow, this is a critical area tomorrow. Tomorrow we either break or reject. If we reject here, which is this high, it's our resistance right now. 2374, 73, I mean. Tomorrow we need to break this. Buyers need to break this tomorrow, 323, and then we head to 327, 330. This is what buyers need to clear tomorrow, this high right here. Now, if we reject this zone and come back down, your first support is going to be this one, which is the do or die. Obviously, we held, right? Obviously, we held. So now this becomes support. We broke out and this becomes support. So if the market was to pull back, this is your first support to watch, the 318. 318 fails to hold. You have 316, 313, which is where we are been testing as support. You see this? So as long as you stay above this support right here, buyers can stay in control. The moment we fall below 310, the moment we fall below 310, sellers can take control. So again, for tomorrow, QQQ, you are watching 323.73, which is today's high. That's your resistance tomorrow. Your support, 318. That's what you're going to be watching. We break resistance. This is your next target. We lose support. This is your next target. That's for tomorrow. Now, what I want you to see here is how we are holding this trend line that we formed. We have our lows here, right? This pullback, we have another one here. This circle, you see the circle? We just can't see it because of the blue shaded area. But we have a circle here. See this trend line? See this point, and this point? See how they all meet? So we extend it. Whatever pullback we get, this line should hold it. This line should be like final support for the buyers, right? If we pull back, this is where we can expect the pullback to hold. So you know more or less how far down it can go. If it breaks up, you know how far up it can go. That's for QQQ. Now let's look at the MACD. Notice that the MACD in the hour, it's very close. So if tomorrow the MACD crosses down, then that may confirm our move down. So watch the MACD, watch price at resistance, and see what it does. If it matches, then that's where we're going. Let's go to SPY. Now SPY, notice how SPY is in this channel. I have not changed anything. Now, we fell short. We pulled back and we fell short. We never really reached this zone. Now, that doesn't mean we will not test this zone. We will, just not yet. Okay? Notice this resistance, like QQQ, this resistance. We broke out, came back, we back tested, and we held. Broke above resistance, and now should be support. So notice that here we broke up, and then the next day we just ran straight up, right? We just ran straight up. This resistance, which was resistance, now will be support, needs to be tested, and it has not been tested. So this new support is still our new support. If the market happens to pull back, this is exactly where it needs to hold. We ran, we chopped, we ran, we chopped, meaning we went sideways. We have 1, 2, 3 attempts. 3 attempts to break this resistance. We have 3 attempts to break this resistance, right? And we have this as support. This is our support. Notice how it held support. So we're just here pretty much, ranging. Now, 2 things you could have done here. If you are playing the range, right, and then you see that this support is holding like it did in the past, then you could have went long, right, at the open when you saw buyers stepping in. You see this doji? This doji is pretty much letting us know that buyers and sellers were even. Traders are waiting to see what happens with this doji candle. Now, what you want to see then after this doji candle, if you see a green candle, then that's letting you know buyers are in control. Now, had this been a red candle instead of a green one, this would have been a red candle, and then it would have opened here and came down. Then that would have told you that sellers are in control and we are still rejecting this resistance. But that was not the case, right? Notice that this was just a trap. We trapped some bears, people betting to the downside, and then they decided to short squeeze to the next resistance. Okay, short squeeze to the next resistance. So what are we watching tomorrow? Tomorrow we're holding this, which was 4.9. Obviously the market proved itself today and was able to get above. So this is our support now. From resistance, it will turn support. So tomorrow, what you want to see tomorrow is 412.5 hold as support. And your resistance is right here, which is today's high. This is your resistance. So going into tomorrow, if you see that in the pre-market, we try to work our way up and we cannot clear this high, we start rejecting, then know that this is your next target below, 407. So if you get in short here and support does not hold, we can come back down and test this support, okay? Now, this 400 support still needs to be tested. It needs to be tested. We broke out, but it never proved to be support. It was resistance. It was resistance. We broke resistance, right? Then we're sitting right above it and then ran. So this pretty much said this is support. But what we need to see is price come back down and really hold as support, which will pretty much prove to us, yes, it is support. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to happen this week because they can decide to short squeeze and hit this top channel. So the only thing we can do is be ready with our levels. We have support, which is down here. In case we do reject resistance, this is where we have to hold. Happens to be bottom channel. Here I have risk short. So that means that there is sellers up here. Now, what we don't know is if there is more sellers than buyers. That we will find out tomorrow. So, again, for SPY, what you want to watch for SPY tomorrow is the 412.5 as support. If it does hold, then we should get something like this, right? Let's say tomorrow in the pre-market we're up here and then we decide to pull back and then this support does hold, then we must clear this high. If this holds, we must clear this high. And this is exactly what we need to see. A pullback and then a run up. So we can have another $10 rally until we reach this resistance above. Now, if we do reject, right, then this is what we will see. And then a rejection to come back down. This is where we're going to reject. Like this. If this rejects in the pre-market, if this rejects in the pre-market, then this is what you will see. But if we're able to clear it, if we are able to hold this support, then this is what must happen after. Because it's giving us a higher high. I'm sorry, a higher low, and a higher low should be followed by a higher high. That's the rule. Higher lows are followed by higher highs. Lower highs, which we don't have for me to show you, but lower highs is followed by lower lows, which in this case would be, let's say this doesn't happen. Let's say this doesn't happen. And then we have, and let's say this never happened. Let's just pretend this never happened so you can see what I mean by a lower low. And then we have this triple top. Then the market does this, right? And then we pull back to back test it, which is really what it should have done, but it didn't, right? Back test and then come down. Now this would be a high followed by a lower high, right? Our low, which should be followed by what? A lower low, okay? And then they say we have to connect our lines. So we connect our lines. And look, it gives us a clean channel if that were to happen. You see that? That's only if that were to happen. I'm just showing you guys what a lower low followed, but what a lower high followed by a lower low looks like. But in this case, we're getting higher lows followed by higher highs. That's the rule. That is the rule. And let's go to Apple. Now let's show you SPY in the daily chart so you guys can see how it looks in a day. Now notice that we're going to go back in time just so you guys see. We had a rising wedge, right? We formed a rising wedge all these months that the market rallied. We broke the falling wedge, and this is where we're at now. We had this channel. We broke out the channel. You see, this falling wedge led us to a down move because we know rising wedges break down. On the way down, it gave us a channel, a downtrend channel. Now we know that these downtrend channels, once they hold as support, which is what it did here, right? Once they hold the support, it breaks out, which is exactly what happened. If I were to extend this, notice how we broke out, which is the reason why we got the run that we got, because of this breakout. Smaller time frame. Zoom in. This is the channel that you guys saw right now. This is how you guys see the bigger picture, and then you come down to the smaller time frame to see the smaller picture. Now, intraday trading, you go to the 3 or the 5 minute, depending on what you're comfortable with. And then you see how the levels apply in the smaller time frame. See resistance, see the channel. So as long as we're in the channel, you get to kind of gauge where the market can go. You see the intraday. You come up, you see we hold the channel, you want to get into the long side. Like all these levels help you as entries and exits. That's why you got to have them, because as you see price approaching them, then you will know, okay, I have a next level up here, so now I know how far up I can go. If we reject here, I have levels down here. Now I know how far down it can go based on what we have in the past. And this is a 3 minute. We're looking at previous days in the 3 minute. So you can see where price can go once certain levels are being broken or rejected. Let's go to Apple. Now look at Apple. Apple, this morning, I did this trend line. I connected my highs. You see, I connected this high to my most recent high. So this is my trend line. If I were to extend it, this is how far it goes. Now, I want you to guys see this right here. This right here is a fake breakout. This is a fake breakout. You're like, well, how do you know? Well, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Notice how in this fake breakout, we have a shoulder, a head, because it kind of peaked, and then shoulder, because it's the same length. So this little small head and shoulder in the 3 minute intraday is letting you know that this is the neckline. We fall below, you can short. So let's say you short around here when it broke down your support. Like, how do I know how far down it goes? Well, you have this right here for you to know how far down it goes. So if you're getting short here, then you're like, okay, I'm getting in short. This is how far down I know I can go because this is where the market opened. So if the market opened here and then it decides to reject here, and then we come back down, we're gonna come back down and test the opening price again. And that's exactly what we did. We came back down to test the opening price. And here we are. And look what happened. It actually held support. So we get the bounce. So if you miss the short side, then you can wait for resistance. I'm sorry, you can wait for support to be tested and catch the bounce. Now, you don't know how far up it will bounce, but you're going to catch a bounce. So let's say you get in here, right? You get in here and you're like, how far can it go? Well, you have this level up here. So at least you know that you can target this area right here. And that's as far as it went before it decided to come back down. But then here we have the next day, right? And notice how this line, the same line, plays role into the next day. See that? Plays role into the next day. So that's how you intraday. That's how you trade the intraday with the bigger picture. That's Apple. So Apple, that's how I saw this at the fake breakup. Come back down. You test this. Obviously, you notice how it's valid in the past too. This is a strong support. So 160. 160 seems to be strong for Apple. So when I connected my highs, my most recent highs, this was a fake breakout to top buyers. Obviously, whatever buyers were stuck here, right? They had to decide, do they cut their losses or if they want to hold and see if it picks up. Two options that they have. All depends on their risk. If they're willing to risk it, then they're willing to hold to see if they get this move. Now, if they're not willing to risk it, then they're probably going to cut their losses at the breakdown right here. So it all depends on what you're trying to do with the trade. Is it something that you're trying to hold long term? Is it something that you're intrading? It's what's the plan for the trade? That way you know where to get in and where to get out. So in this case for Apple, I connected my highs, right? So today what I was watching today is a break of this trend line. That's what I was watching for today. If it broke this trend line, then that was letting me know we were going to go up. Buyers were in control, right? This blue line for me meant buyers were in control because we couldn't get above it in the past. We could not get above it in the past. And today, we were able to get above it. We were able to get above it. So let's say that, you traded the morning session. Look at this crossover right here. The 3-minute. This is a 3-minute. Look at this crossover right here in the MACD. The MACD crossed right here. So now let's go up. You could have entered somewhere around here. Crossover, this could have been your entry. Move the way up, take profits. If you want to risk coming up to this level because you already have this level, you should already have this level because it was part of Sunday's plan. It was part of Sunday's chart. So, seeing that we're holding, right? We move higher, we broke resistance, we're holding above resistance. So now this is support. So if you see that this is support and you're not so sure, then just draw a line. Just draw a line right there. And at your highs, right? Now, what are you watching? What are you waiting for? Well, if you're not comfortable getting in here, and if you miss the entry here, then this is a second chance to get in. But you have to wait for it to break out. You have to wait for this to break out. Okay? If this does not break out, then it's pretty much letting you know we are not It'll just continue down as it rejects this trend line. But since we weren't able to break out, then you could have entered somewhere around here. This could have been another entry right around here at the breakout. Another entry, then you would have caught this move up. This is the first try. If you miss the first entry, you have a second chance here. You have a second chance here. This is your entry. That's for Apple. That's how you read an intraday for Apple. So that's how we got, that's the reason why we got this run, because we broke out. So this pretty much attracted the breakout traders. The breakout traders came in after they saw the breakout. Now, these breakout traders took the price higher, which pretty much also made all the people that were short on this downtrend, people that were short waiting for this breakdown, just got caught on the move up. So what do? They either close their position at a loss, or they're holding their position and see if we reject up here, depending on how much time they have as well, or they have to cover their short position. So again, trading is a matter of preference. It's all about a risk. How much are you willing to risk for the move that you're waiting for? Also need to have an entry point and an exit point. If you don't have an entry point and an exit point, when you see price moving, you're not going to know when to pull out. You're not going to know when to pull out, and that's how you end up holding on to positions too long. You don't want to hold the position too long. Tomorrow, the plan for Apple tomorrow is, since we broke out, notice since we broke out, we need to come back and test as support. In the bigger picture, we need to come back and test as support. We're in resistance. So tomorrow, this is your resistance. We got to watch this level. If we break, it's going to continue to short squeeze. What is my next level? I have this next level up here, which is 169, 170. So let's say tomorrow we break to the upside, right? You're like, how far can we go? Well, we have this level up here. So this is how far we can go. 169, 170. If buyers want to continue to take this up, this is how far we can go, which is 169, 170. Now, if sellers come in and reject here, this blue line, which is 166, if sellers come in and reject this blue line, we will bring it down to 162 again, where it should hold. This is exactly where it should hold if buyers want to take it up. Okay? So, again, your resistance for tomorrow, 166. Your support for tomorrow is 163, 162. If the market decides to break this blue line and come up, we can see 170. That's our next big target above. Your next support below, 162. Your key level to watch is 166. That's tomorrow's plan. Let's look at Amazon. Look at Amazon. You guys remember this bull flag on Amazon? Well, this bull flag, if I put a poll, so you guys can pretty much pick the bull flag. I can put a poll here, right? A poll. See the flag? It's considered a bull flag. When you see a run up and then you see a pullback into a channel like this, that's considered a bull flag. That's a continuation pattern. So we broke out of the flag of the channel. We broke out. We kind of pulled back and we tested. You can call this kind of a back test right here. Okay, we kind of back tested. We held outside the channel, meaning we never went back inside the channel. We held above, meaning buyers were still in control. Buyers try to come back up. sellers try to take control. Buyers showed up again. Now, if you are a pattern trader, this flag right here would have helped you hold on to your position even on this pullback, right? Even on this pullback. Or you cash out on this breakout. You see that the market is having issues continuing. You cash out at these highs and then just wait for the pullback, for the back test, and then re-enter. Now this day we didn't do nothing. It just pretty much went sideways this day. So let's say you went long here, right? You went for the upside and the market did this. It didn't do absolutely nothing. Now what do you do with your position? Two things. Either you take your small profits, close it at a loss, or since this flag hasn't been invalidated yet and we are holding support, right? We are holding support still. No reason for you to get out. There's no reason for you to get out. We're still going up. It's just taking a little longer, but we're still going up. Okay? That's how you will see this chart on that. So the plan for Amazon tomorrow is we have our support here, which is, well, in this case, it's going to be this one, 135. 135 is your support. Your resistance is 140. 140 is your resistance. So tomorrow morning, if you see tomorrow morning, we're having issues getting above this high, then we're going to come back down and test these lows. Okay? If we are able to break above 140, we will come to 144, 147. This is our next resistance above. If we clear this resistance, this is our next target. But if we reject this resistance, which is 140, if we reject, the market has issues trying to get back up, we will come back down to test this support again. Okay, so for right now, we are in this range. Right now, we are in this range. You have to see who takes full control. Now, if buyers come in, we can close this gap all the way up here. This is what I'm seeing happen. This is actually what I'm actually seeing happening. Seeing that the buyers are going to come back in. So any pullbacks that we get, buyers will step in and close the gap. We're going to close this blue area. Come all the way up here, which is pretty much 146.52. This is our zone. Amazon. Tesla. Now Tesla, if we look at Tesla for the day, notice how we had this triangle from a while back. Remember that we were watching this triangle break out? Well, we broke out of this resistance, came back and back tested, held the back test, and look at this pop. We just ran. We just ran into support. I'm sorry, ran into this gap. This gap. There is sellers here because this gap for me means reject. That means that there are sellers waiting here. Now the question is there more sellers than buyers? We will find out. But if you notice here, notice how we reached the target. My target was 910. We got to target. It can come and try to reach 950, possibly even break out and test this right here, or this right here. Okay, so if we break out of Tesla tomorrow, we can go all the way up to 975. If we clear 950, we can see 975, 1000. And that is only if we hold above 910. If we cannot hold above 910, we're going to test this support again. We're going to come down and test this support again. So let's go down to the 4-hour. I'm sorry, the 1-hour. This is your 1-hour. And notice how this is the triangle that you guys saw, right? You see this breakout right here? This is a fake breakout. And if you can see, we have a little shoulder, a head, a shoulder. So you have a head and shoulder. On this breakout, that's pretty much letting you know, hey, this could be a little fake. Be careful. We have a head and shoulders. A head and shoulders is usually a bearish signal. And look what happens after. We get the fall. We test the bottom of the triangle, we hold, and then we work our way back up. We break resistance, right? We break resistance, back test resistance, we hold, and then we try to go for a higher high. Since we got a higher low, we're going for a higher high now, and that's exactly what we got. So again, tomorrow, what you want to watch is this 910, this 910 support. You have 950 resistance. So these are your levels for tomorrow. Tesla above 910, 950, we clear 950, 975. Could even push to 1,000. Now, we fall below 910, then we can see 867 again. These are your levels for tomorrow. From here to here are your levels for tomorrow. But what you're really watching to break is this one and this one, which is the 910 and the 950. Now, if you go to the smaller time frame, I'm going to go to the 5-minute. Notice that here, it may seem a long way. It is a long way. It's 26 points. You got 26 points to resistance and 12 points down to support. So, if you're able to get the drop, if we're able to fall and you're able to buy here, you can target here. It's your safe side. But this has to hold. Like, it's a must. Like, it must hold. If this doesn't hold, we are coming down here. We will come down here and make a new low. Okay? That's what you're going to watch for Tesla. Watch your MACDs. Watch the MACD. If you get a crossover on your MACD, that will confirm it. Let's look at the VIX. Now, the VIX is right on support. That's another thing to watch for. Now, let's connect our highs. We did a high yesterday with the pre-market. This is our trend line going into tomorrow. I want you guys to copy these levels into your charts. If you don't have these levels into your charts, it's going to be a little hard for you guys to know how far up we can go or how far down we can go, where rejects, where bounces. You need levels. You need levels because you need a guide. Now, tomorrow, this is my guide. You see this trend line? So that's what I'm watching tomorrow. If tomorrow the VIX happens to come up, let me connect my lows. So I want you to guys, what pattern do you guys see here? I connected my highs, right? Now I connected my lows. What pattern do you see here? We have, this is the 5-minute. We also have a crossover right here. A fresh crossover, okay? And it's trying to get past the midpoint. So it's going up. If this is going up, what pattern is this? This is a fallen wedge. This is a fallen wedge, and fallen wedges usually play out like this. Will come up, possibly reject, double bottom or higher low, whatever the case is. But this is the support to hold, and then bam, we should break out. This is exactly what I'm going to be looking for on the VIX. Just because we have this fallen wedge. Just because I have this fallen wedge, this is exactly what I'm going to watch for tomorrow. Okay? This is the VIX. The VIX is going to confirm our move for tomorrow. Again, guys, we did quite a move. We've already, I think we're green for like, I want to say what, 4 or 5 days, if not more. I think we've been green. We have 6 green days. We've had 6 green days. We got 1, 2, 3, 3 SQQQ. Look at this. Just straight up. Green, 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 green. We have nothing red. No red candle. That's letting me know we need a red candle that is due. Look, every time we get green, 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 we need red candles in there. So we might guess we already got this move onto the top channel, right? From the bottom to the top. Here we are. Bottom to top. You got to be careful here because you don't want to get caught on a move like it did here. Be careful here. You don't want to get caught on something like this. We already did this to the top channel. We already here. Don't get caught on a pullback. Like, I'm not saying we will not break out. We can. We can continue to short squeeze. If we even break out from here and we hold outside, we just literally broke out the downtrend. Like, we broke out the downtrend. If we were to break out, right? We broke out and then we were to come back and back test this area, which possibly will be this right here, right? If we were to break out, come back, somewhere around here is where it's going to bounce, and then we're going to start cleaning all these levels up here. That is very, very bullish for the market. If we are able to get out of this channel, this yellow channel, we are able to get out of that channel, which is right here. The market is going to start filling up all these levels up here. But for right now, I want you guys to be careful. We are at the top channel. You have to be careful at these levels. See how we are right here? You have to be careful. This is do or die. We had a do or die right here because we were having issues breaking up. Double top, boom, they broke out. All this is the short squeeze. All this just trapped all these bears. This right here trapped all these bears. So they either took a loss, they're holding a loss, whatever the case is, but it went against them. It's a trap. Now, as we sit at resistance, look at the MACD crossing down. So that's letting me know that probably the pre-market tomorrow, we should start seeing some pullback in the pre-market if this actually plays out. So guys, add the MACD if it helps. Add the MACD. It'll help with entries and exits. You'll see when prices are extended and when it's not. Make sure to have your levels. If you don't have levels, guys, it gets hard. It really gets hard as to where you want to take profits if you don't have levels. You need to have a goal. If I get in here, I will get out here. And you need to follow it. Do not hold on to positions for too long because you're going to get crushed on time decay. You don't want to get caught on the wrong side. We are traders, and as traders, our job is to pull money out of the market. I'm a day trader. My job is to pull market out of the market every day. I go in, I go out every day. I'll swing a position here and there depending on how strong the market is, and how confident I feel. But for the most part, I like to lock in some profits every day. If you're comfortable with swinging, then that's your preference. That's style. Trading is all about preference. All I can tell you guys is very, very, very important that you have levels. You have to have a goal. If I get in here, I will get out here. And if this fails, this is my exit point. This is where I will take my loss. You should have a level of where you will take your loss if it goes against you, which should always be when it breaks below your support. If it breaks below your support, that should be your exit. The position shouldn't go against you that much before you decide to cut it. Now, once you have a level, okay, if it goes against me, this is where I'm gonna cut it. Good. Now you need an entry point. You have an entry point. Good. You need an exit point. You have an exit point. Good. You are ready to trade. Just wait for those levels to be hit. That's all it is. Patience, discipline, and stick to the plan.